A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar of North India chapter. And we apologize for this delay because of some technical issues, which we try to avoid every time, but they still do show up for one reason or the other. Anyways, we are live on the air now, and we have our presenter, Mr. Nikhil, with us. Um, Thanks to everyone who is going to be joining or who is going to be watching this webinar once it's going to get recorded. This webinar is in the series of the webinars which we do, try to do on the monthly basis. And this is going to follow up with the Oracle Cloud Tech Day that we are hosting on the 2nd of the April, which basically means in about 2 days, day after tomorrow, the particular event is going to be conducted in the Noida office of Oracle. The information about that particular event is already available on our blog as well as on all the social media links of the North India chapter. And this particular webinar is going to be about the upgrade facility, which is available for Oracle Clusterware from one release to another. In this particular webinar, it will be for 11G to 12C. Let me give a little bit introduction about Mr. Nikhil. Nikhil has been working with the Oracle database for close to a decade now. He is been with quite a big telecom. He's working with quite a big telecom, working with Clusterware throughout the while, and he's already certified for Oracle Clusterware, Oracle Clusterware Expert. OCP 9i, OCP 11G. He is the co-founder, one of the co-founders of the North India chapter, and one of the active members of North India chapter, doing almost presenting in almost every event, as well as volunteering for every particular event and supporting the events all the while. So let me bring Nikhil into the webinar. Nikhil, are you there?
Yes, Aman.
Thanks for joining us, Nikhil, and thanks for supporting the webinar, doing the webinar, and supporting the group one more time. So I think you can continue, Nikhil. I will
All
be on
right.
the mute, and over to you now.
Thank you, Aman. Thank you for the nice introduction. So, a very good evening, all of you. Thank you for attending this webinar. So today we are going to have webinar on like upgrade from 11G release 2 to 12C release 1 clusterware. This webinar is like mainly on the like this is like 11G release 2 to standard clusterware upgrade, right? So I'll start with my introduction. I have like more than 8 years of experience in Oracle database and application, and I'm certified in Oracle 9i, 10G, 11G, and I have done like real application cluster certification as well. I have also worked on like mission critical databases like telecom, financial, ERP, manufacturing, government, all these type of domain I have worked. I have been member and speaker of AIUG North India chapter, and you can see like these are the like method through which you can contact me and you can ask any question after this session. All right. All right. So the agenda of this session would be like first we will learn like what is Oracle Clusterware and why we are going to have upgrade, what benefit you will get from the upgrade, and what disasters or like issues you may face during the upgrade or after upgrade. Then we will see like what all are the prerequisite for doing an upgrade. Then I'll show you the how this 11G release 2 has evolved in 12C release 1, like what was the traditional clusterware and how this new flux clusterware uh, architecture looks like. Then we will do a clusterware upgrade. I'll show you each and every step, like what all new things has been introduced. And at this clusterware upgrade is a very dicey thing. There are a lot of steps where we can get stuck or issue can happen. So I'll show you a couple of scenarios from which you can recover it, and also I'll show you like how you can downgrade your cluster from 12C to 11G release 2. If you face any issue and you might have to go for a downgrade, then you can do that. Apart from these all things, like all these things, I'll show you a couple of things or a couple of tools which will helps to monitor your rack environment. All right. So let's start with the uh, webinar. This webinar. Well, the first thing is Oracle Clusterware. Well, this is the most important part in when we talk about real application cluster. So this is the bare. This is the main or like main software which runs your database in active mode. So this is the software which is a core of real application cluster. So the same way, like like if you get a laptop at your home and if you need to access that laptop, your RAM, your machine, your CPU, and everything, you need to have one interface, right? So that interface is your operating system, whether it is Windows, Linux, whatsoever. So same way, to run your database, to run your single database on multiple instances, we need to have one software, one interface. So that interface is Oracle Clusterware. So this Clusterware makes you run your database in shared mode. Well, this is example of like this is like how traditional how the earlier, like we have like traditional cluster 11G release 2. Earlier we used to have like one single storage, and we had a node which is hosting our database instances. So this is how our like traditional cluster looks like. Now this is a new picture. I have got it like from the Google, and in this picture you will see like these these all hub nodes. These all hub nodes are are as working as our instance for a database. So these are hosting our instances for database. All right. And the one new thing which has been introduced called leaf node. Well, what this leaf nodes are? Leaf nodes are like you can say a application node, service node, you can say that, like, because these leaf node does not contain any database instance. But in the future, if you need to change your like leaf node to hub node, you can do that. You can change that application node to instance, database instance node. All right. And in 11G release 2, we used to have like up to 100 nodes, and in this 12C we have like 64 hub nodes, and for leaf nodes we don't have any like official number right now. So this is the current architecture which looks like in 12C release 1, and this leaf node concept was already there since 10G release 1, but this is was not as enhanced as in our 12C release 1, because this thing was known as a service. Like like in RAC, you can always create a service and you can register it. You can put in Oracle restart stack that will take care of the restart and shutdown and everything. So this is a bit of advanced version of that service, you can say that. So this is like what are the pro and cons of the upgrade. Like first, before you are going for an upgrade, you need to have a reason like why you are going for an upgrade. For every environment, every environment, everybody wants their system to be secure and fast. To make your system, the primary reason to make your system performing good and secure, the this is the thing which we do. We apply PSU patch, CPU patch, and when new like version of database comes in, then we go for an upgrade. So first we have to check like what new features and components we are getting, whether we are getting support from Oracle. So one of the reason for the upgrade is when you are working on like 10G, which is already absolute, and then now 11G release 2 is also going to be obsolete. So you have to be you have to be on the track, because once the support from the Oracle support is gone, then there is a possibility like a bug or issue can come and you won't be able to fix it because you don't have a support from Oracle. So one of the reason is you need to go for an upgrade, like bug issues and support from the Oracle. Sometimes new application does not support the older version of databases. The another reason is uh, like suppose you have a clusterware which is 11G release 2 and you want to upgrade your database to 12C release 1. Now you cannot do that until and unless you don't have a like 12C release version of clusterware. So to have a new version of database, you need to have equivalent equivalent version of clusterware. So these were the all like reasons to go for an upgrade. There are some more, like it vary to environment. Now, what are the issues you may run into? Well, after doing upgrade or at the time of doing upgrade. Well, the first issue is risk of failure during an upgrade. Like there are chances when you run a rootupgrade.sh on nodes or doing a it get complete on first node. Sometimes it does not complete on first node also. So that point of time, your whole cluster may go down. So you have to be careful, like what to do next step. Always keeping Oracle support in the loop while doing these major changes. Then the other thing, suppose you're doing an upgrade, and during the upgrade you run into an issue and probably taking a lot of time to fix it. So long outage could be another issue. Then another thing is lack of skills to new version. Since you are going to upgrade it, so you might be having not that skills for that. So one of that reason could be. Then legacy application. You have to test your application before going to upgrade to the newer version of database, because there is a possibility that your old version is not compatible with the new version of Clusterware or database. So you need to check that. All right. So what are the prerequisite? Well, the prerequisite for doing the upgrade is first take the backup of existing clusterware and OCR. Check whether you have the sufficient space in your in your mount point where you have the clusterware installed. Excuse me. So in this also since from 11G release to in place upgrade is obsolete. Now we have to do a out of place upgrade, so that you have to take care. Uh, uh, before starting the upgrade, you need to unset this parameter Oracle Home, Oracle Base, and TNS Admin. You have to check like all OS groups and user are intact, like by checking like ID, Oracle ID grid. So you can check whether users are equivalent as you did the installation at first time. You can also run the run coffee before doing the upgrade. That is one of the big uh, uh, like prerequisite you can perform. And whenever you are doing a running a run coffee, always go for the latest one. Download it from the Oracle Metalink and then do the check. Also, you can check like whether all kernel parameter and packages are equivalent on all the nodes. And also you need to have a root or sudo access, so get it all right before starting the upgrade. That is very much mandatory. So, and another thing is you need to have a like a minimum version of 11.2023 to upgrade to 11.101. So this is our like cluster overview, which we are going to do. Like this is a two-node cluster. The operating system we are using is uh, RHEL 6.4, and the existing clusterware software we have is 11.204. Now the clusterware name we have is it's NIOUG, stands for North India Oracle User Group. And then the scan we are using is racnode.linuxdc.com. We have 10 data LUNs, and we have disk group called OCR. So this is the basic diagram which have like in 11G release 2, like we have a disk group, we have instance node. Now we have a scan listener. This scan listener consists of three IP addresses, which works on the basis of like on the basis of round robin algorithm, so that it can float over the network. And so this is pretty much overview of the clusterware. So we are going to start with the upgradation of Clusterware. So when you start your Clusterware upgrade, so this is the first screen which you get. Now there you're getting four options. First option is install and configure Oracle Grid infrastructure for cluster. So this option we choose when we are doing it at the first time. Then second option we choose it when we are doing it for a single machine. We have to choose the third option, which is upgrade Oracle Grid Clusterware or Oracle Automatic Storage Management. All right. Then there is another option that is install Oracle Grid infrastructure software only. So we don't need that. So we are going with the third option. So we are going to select the language. By default, it comes English. Then it will show you the default node. Like we already have two nodes, RAC node 1, RAC node 2, and the default location is U01 app 1120/grid. So this is the binary of 11G release 2 location. Now you can click on SSH connectivity, and then you can check whether SSH connectivity is there. If it's not there, you can set up, you can do a setup from right here from this screen only, because since 11G release 2, this SSH connectivity can be established through the this GUI interface only. Prior to that, it was a quite a tough job for establishing a SSH connectivity, because we had to do it manually. So now we don't do that. Now you can do it by the GUI interface only. So this is the one new feature which has been introduced in 12C release 1. Well, this is called Grid Infrastructure Management Repository. In this, what happened? Like there will be one database. There will be one small database will be created in your clusterware that will be managed by your like first instance, right? And this database will be stored in the same disk group where you are having the OCR file. All right. So this is a new slide and new feature in 12C. And this database will basically contain of all the log files and all the details of clusterware. So to manage a grid management database, I have mentioned a couple of commands for the reference. Like by default, the name of the database get created is mgmtdb management database. So this is used for storing the clusterware health monitor data, and this only created on the first node. If there is a failure at the first node, this database get failed over to another node, whichever is the surviving node. So this is like basic one command, srvctl config management db. You can check the like database configuration, where is the database and on which node it is running. Then there is one command, aclumon manage get master, which is the master node for this database. Then to get the path of like what is the path of data files which is storing the all the data, so you can run this command aclumon manage get rep path repository path. And to check version, like which version it is, like here we have command aclumon version. So after the management DB, this is the same screen which we get in 11G release 2 also. Details of a group of ASM group, like ASM admin, DB and operator. Then here we have to give a new location of where our new binary will be located. So this is our new location which we are putting here. So we have to create this directory in advance at the OS level. So this is one of the main feature which Oracle has added in the GUI phase. Well, this feature is running the script root.sh, rootupgrade.sh through the GUI mode only. Earlier, what we used to do, when all the installation get completed, you get a pop-up screen where you had to run your Oracle inventory.sh and your root.sh or rootupgrade.sh on your servers. So now that is no longer required. You can do that. You have an option, but that is no longer required, because you can do the automation through the this GUI interface only. So to use that feature, what you need to do, you need to click on the automatic run configuration script, and then you have to provide the root credentials. Well, once you provide the root credential, if if you have a two nodes only, then it's pretty simple. Like bash one, like first it needs to run on node one, then bash two it needs to run on node two. If you have multiple nodes, then you can supply like where like you can supply the preference where this script needs to be run first and later. So this is the final step. When we click on install, it install all, it copies binaries, do the setup, and then here you can get the detail by clicking on the detail button, or you can go to the CFG config log in grid home directory, and you can check what all it's doing in the background. So here we are getting configuration script generated by the installer need to run as a privileged installer will run this script using the privileged user credential provided earlier. So here you have to provide the consent, like yes, we want to go ahead with it, and then you press yes, and it shows like this is running your script. So here you can see execute of root script. It is running script on first node. Then once first node get completed, it goes for second node. See. Now execution of upgrades is completed on the batch. Installer is waiting for your confirmations to start processing in next batch. So once it is completed on first node, you can go for the second node. You can check in the log file also this configure Oracle grid cluster succeeded. So you can see that it is succeeded on one node. So and waiting for the another node for your confirmation. Click OK, and here you see a continue button. Click on continue button, and then it will do your all the script running. So here you can see it is succeeded. Now it is configuring the grid cluster infrastructure. Now this is a very important thing which I missed earlier. Well, grid infrastructure management database. What it does, it create a management database, right? Which I mentioned earlier, like in the disk group where your OCR is lying. So you need to make sure like the disk group which you are using has a sufficient amount of space for this database, because this database contains around 3.7 GB of data. So you need to make sure like you are keeping sufficient space in the disk group so that this database can be created. Otherwise, you may run into this issue. So that's why I have got this snapshot for you just for the reference. So you make sure you have at least 4 or 5 GB of space in your disk group so that management database can be created. So see, OCR does not have enough space. Required space is 3.3. 58 MB, available is only 592. So just make sure. All right. So once your management database is created, your upgrade is successful. Then now this is one slide which I have used because sometimes what happens while doing an upgrade, when running a rootupgrade.sh, there are chances that upgrade may get fail on first node. Okay, so the best solution is if you have a time, involve Oracle support. If you have a time, involve Oracle support, and then do your troubleshooting. Fix the node one first, and then go for the second one, because your second one is still live. Okay, but if you think like you don't have much time and you want first node to be forced to be a your available node, so this thing is this root upgrade.sh-force-first. What is this command does? After running this command on whatever node you run, that node become the master node. That node become the first node of your clusterware, and this thing is this thing can be seen in these metalink node ID. So you can get the detail. I have mentioned the metalink node ID, so you can get it from here. So this is the Clusterware services. After everything is done, Clusterware installation is done. What you can do, you can go to your operating system, with hosting your Clusterware. Then you can do a ps-if grep d.bin. You can see all the processes which is running, and then you can check like what all services are running and what is the condition of the services. Now you see the state, the state, this table stable. So this is one uh, new kind of uh, look and feel has been introduced in 12CR1 in Clusterware. So here you can also see the detail instance, shutdown stable, open stable. So this is one of the good feature I like. Bit of more customized message. Now our upgrade is done. Suppose for any reason, if you want to downgrade your cluster from 12 release 1 to 11 release 2, so you have option. So what all you need to do, you need to run this command u01 app. uh, you have to go to your grid home, then go to crs, install. There you will get one script, root crs.sh. You have to use hyphen download downgrade command to downgrade your clusterware stack. So this is, you have to do it from your newer version of Clusterware, which you just upgraded. Okay, and this need to be run on remote node. Make sure you are running it remote node, not on the local node. All right. So suppose if you have a 3 node, so remote node will be your second and third node, not the first one. All right. So you run this command on second node and third node, and when it's successfully done, what it does, it restore your grid clusterware stack, and it replace your all files. All right. So here, after doing this on node 2 and 3, then you come back to node 1. All right. And there, same from Oracle home, crs install root.crs.sh hyphen downgrade hyphen last node. What this does, this command does the last thing, which it restore the old OCR file. Well, at the time of upgrade, uh, uh, Oracle Clusterware does take a backup of your home, your Clusterware home, and your OCR file. All right. Well, this is the OCR file which does the downgrade. If you want to stop the partial or failed Oracle Grid 12c installation and restore the prerequisite, then use hyphen force. In if in the middle of like upgrade something goes happen, use hyphen force option. That will your downgrade your OCR. All right. Then you have to upgrade the registry as well. Once all this stuff, all the above steps has been done, what you can do, you can go to the node and start your clusterware, the older node, one which is hosting your 11G release 2. Then you can go there and run your crs start crs command, and that will start your cluster node. See, this is the snipnet I have got it. Okay, root crs hyphen peer downgrade last node. Then you will see like successfully downgraded Oracle Clusterware stack on this node. Run this on onload to complete the downgrade. So once you start this, everything will be done. This is what I have got it from the log files. What it does behind the scene. So what it does, it remove the Clusterware services from 12c Clusterware stack. Then it install and create new services to your older version of Clusterware, that is 11G release 2. Then it's restore your old configuration files from backup. And also when you use the hyphen last node on the first node, that point of time it restore your OCR backup. So you can read all these messages for your reference. Now, be careful while running this Clusterware downgrade script. Suppose if you accidentally run this command root crs-pl downgrade hyphen last node on second node or third node, so you may run into this error. And I haven't searched much about this error, but probably this is going to be this is going to make your whole thing dead, and you have to uh, do it from the start. So just make sure you are running the command in the right sequence. So finally, this is our last slide of uh, this webinar, and this is not related to upgrade or anything. This is just, I always keep this slide in all of my rack like presentation or seminar. Uh, well, there's one. These are the couple of tools which can improve your rack environment. First one is Aura Check tool. Well, this tool is a pretty good tool, earlier known as a rack check tool. So what it does, it checks your when you run this tool. You can run this tool before installing Clusterware or Oracle or anything. You can run it, and you can run it after the installation of Clusterware and everything. What it gives you, the output it gives you all OS related problems parameter, and then Oracle related, Clusterware related, operating system related, database related. So you will get each and every issue detail and the fix, the most important thing, the fix of that issue. So you will have the metalink ID, so that you can use that metalink ID as a reference and you can fix that issue. Also, since this file, this the report will be in HTML format, and the detail will be huge. If you are not sure like which needs to be ignored and which has to be taken care, what you can do, you can upload the report to the Oracle and Oracle support, and they can guide you from there. All right. Then there is another thing, OS Watcher and Cluster Health Monitor tool. So these two tools are very important in case of any issues while day-to-day life, because what happens when issue comes, you don't have the sufficient log to troubleshoot the issue. So make sure you have this OS Watcher installed so that you can have the at least a snapshot of your operating system. What it does, OS Watcher is a kind of contains scripts which take a snapshot. By default, it takes a snapshot at every 30 seconds, and it keeps it for 48 hours. The data it keeps in the operating system is for 48 hours. You can change the snapshot time also, and the storing time of data also. So you can change that. So what it does, it takes a snapshot of your operating system like top command, VM, meminfo, ps-ef command. So all these type of command. So and the last thing is, last but not the least, is uh, probably you might be knowing that in RAC we have couple of more AWR reports. Like like there are AWR, you can generate a AWR report using AWR RPT. However, for RAC we have special AWR GRPT, global RPT. So what it does, it gives you the report from first node, also the second node. All right. If you run AWR RPT, it gives you only report from one node, not from the board node. So you can use this one. Now, suppose if you are facing any issue and you have to compare the two reports. So there's another one report which we have in the repository, that is AWR Global Difference Report, RPT. So you can use this, and think of it like you don't have to go to multiple screen to compare and do the things. You will have only one HTML report and you can do your troubleshooting in it. So that's all. Thank you. So if anybody have any question, please let me know. I'm here to answer. Aman, you there?
Hello, Nikhil. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah. Yes, Aman.
Okay. Thanks a
Do we
lot,
have
Nikhil.
do we
Yes, I
have
can.
do we have any question for this on chat?
Nikhil, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. There was one question which actually came up, was any kind of practices or suggestions which you can mention about enhancing the speed of the upgrade. I mean, once we are doing the upgrade, the
Mhm.
timing it's going to take. So, any tips or suggestions to decrease the time?
Well, see, if it would have been a database upgrade, I could have suggested you a couple of things but in case of clusterware upgrade, there is nothing much you can do to fast the upgrade process, because all it's going to take your CPU and your memory resources. It's totally up to your machine, like how efficient it is. One thing which you can skip, that is management database. So that time you can save if you skip that management database. So that is the only thing which you will be saving the clusterware upgrade. Otherwise rest of thing is pretty much that has to be gone through the process.
And you mentioned about some tips about database upgrade, so maybe it will be better that you can mention them as well over
Yeah.
here because.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing is, before doing an upgrade, always go for the Aura check report. Always go for the Aura check report, okay, and go for the Cluffy check, okay, so that you are just to make sure, while going for an upgrade process, when you are in upgrade process, there has to be no issue, because this is a very critical process in a production system. So two things, just make sure run Aura check report, that give you a lot of thing, lot of information. Fix that thing prior to starting the upgrade. And the other thing is Cluffy. Run that Cluffy to check if each and everything is consistent over the network or clusterware.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
all
all.
right. Right, right, right. Okay. Okay. So that is going to be the tips. Okay, fine, fine, fine. I think that was the only question which we had, Nikhil. So I think that should be fine. So
All right.
probably, yeah, probably that we can conclude the webinar, in case you don't have anything else to mention.
That's all. Thank you guys for attending this session. Thank you,
Thanks
Aman,
a
for
lot.
hosting this.
Thanks a lot, Nikhil. Thanks a lot, everyone who is there, and anyone who is going to be joining to see this as a recorded webinar. It will be uploaded into our YouTube channel, hopefully very soon. And obviously, all the time, your comments and suggestions are welcome. And like always, we say you must come and do these kind of presentations. In case you are a presenter, or in case you are willing to be a presenter, please do send us a mail. Our mail ID is ni.chapter. It is N, that stands for New Zealand, I stand for India, dot chapter at aioug.org, or you can send us a mail at aioug.nic at gmail.com as well. Our social media pages are going to be there, and we'll mention them in the description of this particular video as well. Okay, so on that note, we are going to conclude this webinar. Thanks a lot, Nikhil, one more time,
Thank you,
and
Aman.
have a good evening, everyone. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Aman.